guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be doing something very different. Basically, I've been quite inactive on my socials, which is very weird because obviously I used to post like every day on Instagram. I don't really post as much anymore. TikTok again, I've not really been as active. YouTube is probably one of the only places that I have been active. So obviously where I haven't been active, a lot of my followers have asked why, what was my reason? What was the reason? Yeah, understandable, because as I said, I went from posting on Instagram like every single day to like once a month. So basically the main reason for me not posting as much is all down to health problems, which I'll get into in a sec. Obviously when I'm talking about this, I left it for a whole year, okay? I saw the symptoms, saw the signs, I ignored them the same way I ignored red flags in my ex. But anyway, if you experience health problems and you know that you should go to a doctor but you just don't want to, just go. Don't do what I did, you will heavily regret it. Over a year ago, I started gaining weight a lot. I was still eating the same, if not less. I was exercising the same, if not more. So me gaining weight just wasn't right. Like, I knew something was wrong. I thought maybe medications at the time, but I'd been on the same meds for years. So I just wasn't sure what was happening. And as I said, instead of just going to a doctor, I thought, oh, this is normal. I don't need a doctor. Famous last words. Earlier this year, most of you will know that I don't really know what I did, to be honest. I clipped my neck, nerve got trapped in my shoulder, like here, and it's the main nerve that goes throughout your arm, and if I'd have carried on moving my arm, I would have ended up paralyzing it because I would have crushed the nerve completely. So because of my arm problem, the fact that I could not move it whatsoever, Lil's forced me to go to the doctors because I kept saying like, oh, I'll be fine, like it'll be fine in a couple weeks. It really wasn't, and when I tell you it was like excruciating pain, like it was awful. Like it made me feel so sick, the slightest movement in my arm and I felt like I had to scream from pain. That was how bad it was. She forced me to go to a private doctor, which honestly, I'm never going back. Never going back. Just my experience. I'm not saying all private doctors are bad. Mine was not nice. Basically, I got there and because I was a new patient, the nurse asked me to go in a room with her to like fill in information about myself, I guess. So just like the normal stuff that you get asked by a nurse. She took my height, which apparently I've shrunk to 5'1.5", which I do not believe, and I am gonna argue that I am still 5'3", even if I'm not. She took my weight, which that hurt, and then she asked me to pee in a cup. I told her I peed just before I left the house, and she went, so you can't pee? And I went, no. She was like, are you sure you can't squeeze a wee out? I was like, no. I literally just went for a wee and I haven't drank anything else after that. And she went, okay, so you sure you can't wee? I don't know how many times I should have to say it, but normally when someone says that they can't wee, it means that they can't wee. Like, I can feel my bladder. I can feel when she's full, when she's not. She was not full. She did not need to go. So she was like, okay. So then the doctor called me in. I went in. She seemed lovely to start with. I thought, you know what? She's actually really nice. She started asking me about my family's medical health, and that went on for about 10 minutes. Imagine a book, like a dictionary, but for medical problems. My family's health problems would fill up most of that. So my family just haven't had the best time. So obviously I'm telling her all of this, and she's like, oh wow, your family are really collecting health problems at this point. I was like, yeah, we're not well. We're sick. And then she's like, so what are you here for today? And I obviously explained, like, I can't move my arm. I went to a pharmacy and they told me to move it, but something just doesn't feel right to me. Like, I don't want to move it too much and I make it worse. She examines me, the usual, poking, prodding, trying to move it, me in pain. And then she's like, yeah, what you've done is what I explained. I trapped the main nerve in my arm. If I'd have carried on moving it, I could have crushed the entire nerve and paralyzed my arm, which I don't want that. Don't think anyone wants that. So I was glad that I went to the doctors in the end. And obviously when I did go to the doctors, Lil said, like, get your other stuff checked out as well. So then she's like, what else can I help you with? So I start explaining. I've gained weight, but I was eating the same, if not less, and I was exercising the same, if not more. And I said, like, I've been extremely tired, very depressed, even though my life has been decent. And it just, you know, just explained it all. She turned around to me and went, yeah, I did notice your weight. You eat well? And I went, no, I have like 2 meals a day, like, I only occasionally actually have my 3 meals a day. And she goes, but the portions are like big, right? And I was like, no, the portions are quite small, to be honest. And I explained that, like, eating a lot of food at once just makes me feel sick, and like I can't have big meals. And throughout the day, like, again, I just I feel sick in general. Like, you know yourself, like, when you feel sick you don't want to eat. So I explained that to her, and she kind of just looked like she didn't believe me, and she kept going, like really sarcastic. Did not like it one bit. So I then say, like, I think it might be a thyroid problem because both my parents have thyroid conditions, which she already knew because she asked for my family medical history. And then I obviously said, like, as well, when I was born I had a thyroid problem, but they thought it corrected itself, so I think it could be that. She went, yeah, well, we test for that through a blood test. Would you want that? And I was like, yeah. Obviously this is private, so I have to pay for that. So she explained that a blood test to check for just my thyroid, that would cost like 200 and something. Or I could get a full blood screening, which would check for everything involving blood and illnesses. And that would cost £90 more, so it's like 300 and something. So I was like, you know what, I'll just go for the full screening just in case, you know, it's not my thyroid and it's something else. This woman had the audacity to turn around to me and say, well, it's not going to be your thyroid. And I was like, sorry. And she was like, I just know it's not going to be your thyroid, so we'll see what else is in the blood screening, but for now just like exercise. Sorry? What? So obviously I was hurt. I was baffled that a professional doctor would say that. So I was like, okay. And in my head I was just like, no, I know that it most likely is my thyroid. Like, you know, everyone knows when something is wrong with their body. Like, it's your own body, you've grown in it, you've lived in it. You know when something's wrong. I was just so shocked but so sure that that is what was wrong with me. So I was like, okay. And she was like, once they come back and it shows that it's not a thyroid problem, we'll have to look into what it could be. And just kept basically pointing out that I need to not eat as much, which, as I said, I'm not eating a lot. So yeah, I went through to get the blood test done by a different nurse. She was absolutely lovely. She was incredible. Honestly, so sweet. She told me I have juicy veins as well. So exciting. Juicy veins just means it's easier to get blood out of them. So obviously for her job is collecting blood for blood tests. So yeah, she was excited. She actually squealed when she saw my veins, which I have never had before, but it was very flattering. I was very happy. All that's done. They say that it'll take a couple days for the results to come back. But for now I was on medication for my arm. So I was on a muscle relaxant and a anti-inflammatory. And it's a couple days later and I get a phone call. It was a thyroid problem, which, you know, I said all along to the doctor that that's what I thought it was, and I was pretty sure it was that. Obviously, I had the joy. The next day, she phoned up and she was like, oh, I've got your results. I said, oh, a different nurse already called me and gave them yesterday. And she went, oh, so you know it's a thyroid problem then? I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay. I was like, I did tell you. She just went silent. And then a couple seconds later, she was like, so do you want to get treated for it? No, I came to you to get answers just so that I could know, but I don't want treated. of course I want the medication, like what? I started the medication and they have to start you on low doses first and then work your way up to the dose that you should be on. So, I mean, we did that. I'm on a smaller dose at the moment and I need to have another blood test to then see what dose I need to go up to. I don't think I'm on the right dose. As I said though, they have to start you off small and work up to it. So I do think that I need a higher dose. So a lot of my symptoms are still there. Sorry, my camera died, so I went and got a fruit shoot. With my health problem, the reason why I became inactive on socials because of the health problem is to do with like mental health and stuff, which we all know about mental health. I'm not going to give you a big spiel about it, but where I was gaining weight, it did, I mean, I already was insecure when I was my skinniest, but gaining weight made me more insecure. I know I shouldn't feel insecure about it, and when I look at other people who have gained weight, it literally makes no difference to me. I'm like, wow, they still look great. But I'm sure people understand when I say when it's yourself that it happens to, it's hard for your body to adjust, mainly because you're used to seeing your body in a certain way. When it changes that quickly, it's hard to then adjust to it. I think especially because I was a dancer and I was always very fit, very healthy, suddenly gaining that much weight was a shock. It was hard to deal with. Obviously sent me into a big spiral of, oh, I don't like myself. Overall, I gained a lot. I don't want to give numbers because I don't want people comparing their weight to mine, because obviously weight depends on your height, your muscle mass, it depends on a lot. So I'm not going to say what weight I was before and what weight I am now, but I will say that I basically gained a third of my weight from before, which a third is a lot. So to gain that much, obviously, as I said, it was shocking to me. Found it very hard to adjust, and I didn't like my body whatsoever. And if someone else had exactly the same body as mine, I would look at it and I wouldn't see an issue with it. But as I said, I think it's just because I knew what I looked like before, and because of a health problem that I couldn't control, it's just suddenly changed. Like if it was gradual, I probably would have been able to cope, but because of the drastic quick change, it just very confusing, very hard for me to deal with. And obviously being on social media, I used to post a lot on Instagram, and the outfits I would wear, I wouldn't show a lot of skin. Like, you guys know me, I would only post like a couple bikini pics every now and then. It was just mainly outfits that, you know, had like crop tops or like dresses, just outfits in general, like nothing like special, just your normal outfits that a girl would wear. And I think where I gained weight and I didn't want to see my own body, I didn't want to put outfits on. Like, I just wanted to stay in like baggy shirts, baggy sweatshirts, just baggy everything. And then obviously when it came to Instagram, I didn't want to get changed out of what I was comfortable in into something that I wasn't comfortable in, take a picture and then share it with people who would possibly judge me. Like, I know a lot of people wouldn't, but social media is social media. You're always going to have someone who judges you. So that was terrifying to me. Probably mainly because I had always been so judgmental on myself as well. So yeah, I just didn't want to post as much because I just didn't like what I looked like, basically. Same with TikTok. I used to do a lot of dances, like TikTok trends, all that. I would wear like the same outfits I would wear in Instagram pictures, like crop tops, everything. So like, again, I didn't like what I looked like. I didn't want to share that with my followers. Although I was exercising before, I wasn't going to a gym. So I've joined the gym like start of the year. Haven't went recently because I've been sick. Obviously I already have like autoimmune problems, so I do get sick a lot. Pretty sure I had a throat infection or something, but it still hasn't quite went away. I think we can all hear that, hence why I haven't been doing covers as well. So I have stopped going to the gym for a couple weeks now, and I hate myself for it. I love the gym. That is something you guys probably never would have thought would come out of my mouth. I actually do love the gym. Like, yeah, it's an effort to wake up, get ready to go, and then start exercising, but I don't know, once you finish working out, you just feel good for it. And to be fair, I haven't even lost that much weight. I've lost a little bit of weight so far. Obviously not as much as I would like to. I would like to get back to not the same weight as before. I would just like to have the body I had before, because weight wise, as I said, it doesn't really matter the actual number on the scales, because your weight is a whole combination of how tall you are, your muscle mass, all of that. And obviously if I'm going to the gym, I am going to gain more muscle again because I'm working out, I'm lifting weights. So I don't care as much about the number. I just want to see my own body get back to where it was when I knew it was healthy. Because obviously right now, to me, this is my sick body, because obviously I've been diagnosed with health problems and it's why I gained weight. So I guess that's just another reason why I don't like my body at the moment, because I associate it with my health problems. So yeah, that's why I haven't been as active. As I mentioned earlier, like, weight is not something to obviously be upset about. Like, just as long as your body is healthy, that's all that matters. The only reason that I found it hard to deal with my weight gain is because, like, as I said, it happened so quickly. It was a shock because I didn't know why it happened. I wasn't eating more than I should, so I think it just kind of, it made me question what was wrong, and I kept saying, like, I'm broken, something's wrong with me. So that's the only reason, like, my weight has kind of affected me, is because I knew it was a health problem and it happened so quickly and I had no control. If I had chosen to gain weight, I would be fine with it. When I see other people gain weight, I'm fine with it, as long as they're healthy, as long as they're happy. But for me, I wasn't healthy. That's why I had an issue with it. I hope you guys got the answers that you needed from this video. If you want to give it a thumbs up, you can. If you want to subscribe, you can, if you haven't already. But yeah, thank you for bearing with me, I guess, because, you know, it has been a while since you guys have noticed me being inactive, and I did take a while to explain everything. And as I said, it was just because I found it quite hard to deal with what was happening to my own body. So yeah, thank you for bearing with me. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.